partially going, what is the strength of it, what is the direction of it, that will be given in the approach called as correlational approach. Correlational approach or correlational matrix. From that matrix, we will go for the factor analysis. There will be 2 rounds in that factor analysis. First factor round will identify the principal components. Those redundant variables are removed. Ultimately, we arrive at certain factors. There are, we can call it as 16 or 20 factors we will arrive at. And then we will do second round. There will be commonality approach, where variance is common among certain variables, that we will be judging it. From that, the factors are arrived at. For these factors, again, a method is called a rotation method is applied. A statistical method will be that. Factor loading and weightage will be given. After rotation, there are different types of rotations. Movement of these variables. If one moves, how the statistically in the graph they move and they become a cluster-like group. That we will be observing through that. And then relevant component matrix will be prepared for interpretation. Once you arrive at 16, we have to name them and interpret them. There are 2 challenges. For that, the different tools are used. What are they used? That correlational approach, you will have correlational design. For example, if salary increases, our expenditure also increases. Your attendance in the classes is high, your possibility of getting high grades is there. If low attendance is there, low grade could be there. This is how the correlation meaning. So Pearson, sorry, here you're not a Spearman. Spearman gave us what? Sorry, here. Oh, Pearson gave us correlational matrix, correlational approach. Spearman gave us the factor analysis, and Francis Galton gave us the regression analysis. So, for the prediction purpose, these are the contribution. So, there is no hypothesis actually, but there will be constructs. We will be finding those constructs through the observable data. What are those constructs? That constructs are there within us, psychological constructs are related to the mental processes. Those will be arrived by observable data. For example, if you see the correlation, positive correlation, here it is. If both are moving in the same direction perfectly, one is equal to other. Here, reverse direction. One is moving upward, other one is coming downward. This is how the values are calculated. This is called the strength. This minus is nothing but the direction, the reverse direction or the same direction. So if you see this, it is, we cannot call them as a related word, related correlation. There are related characters, behavioral characters, right? Here, moderately positive. If you have this phenomena, we can say that one is equal to the other, more or less. So in such way, redundancy can be removed. So now factor analysis, correlation matrix is prepared. Once you, for example, I told you, 8.89 is there, then those 2 are cross-loading, meaning that there are similar, one can be dropped. Where we are seeing this one here, this point onwards, mostly this point onwards, we are making other removed. Which one to remove? That depending on that further factors movement or the rotation method, we will apply and then eliminate. So now coming to the, for example, depression is there. There is worthless feelings of some factors are there, feeling of worthlessness, depressive. All these factors will take into the consideration. For each factor, we will prepare five questions. 20 factors are there, 100 questions. For that, a type of questionnaires will be prepared and given to the people. To sample will be collected. From that sample, from this questionnaire, matrix is prepared. We'll see. Now you see, big 5 is there. For example, the outgoing, social, hardworking, beautiful, warm-hearted, and helpful. If you take 6 observable variables, these are observable or source traits. What is there inside? We have, in order to know it, we will frame a questionnaire. What is your how frequently you like to move with others, meet with others. This PT is there. Then it applies, rather applies, partial applies, rather not applies, don't does not apply. This type of data will be collected. How many variables are? 6 variables. What is the sample size? 20. Now, once they are collected, for each person, outgoing 4 you had given. What is that 4? Rather not applies. What is the second person gave? 1, meaning that perfectly applies. So this type of data will be collected for each and every one. I'm not going deep into that. This is how the table is prepared. Excel sheet is. And from that correlation matrix is each one outgoing is compared to outgoing, it will get 1. Outgoing compared to social, outgoing compared to hard work, outgoing beautiful. Like that, when you compare these diagonally, unit will become 1 will become unitary form will be there. This is a test for whether it is done correctly or not. So these are 6 variables are there, and diagonal unity is there. This is the parameter correlation. From this, for example, if you see sociability and outgoing are related, others are inversely related. You can consider this as a candidate for clubbing these two and forming another variable called trait. We can club them to name it as a trait. So, or eliminate, classify, summarize. 3 things are possible to factor. If you see here also, same sociability outgoing are having same. Hardworking, it is nowhere in this nearer to that. So slightly hardworking is with the 34, that is dutiful, conscientious, value oriented. These people will come. Like that, it will be arrived at. Orally seeing at this visually also, prima facie, we can arrive at some understanding with this matrix. Then what is the second step in that factor analysis? So after making the correlational matrix, what in the first round, what we'll do is, from observable elements, we will be reducing the large number of to the smaller components. Suppose you have 20 here, it will even come down to the 6. Bringing them to the 6 is nothing but the first round unique variance. So identifying this is also called a main components. That's why it is called as principal component method. There could be multiple method while research design of the factor analysis research. This we have to earlier only you have to fix it, arrive. So this there are different variances will be there. So depending on that contribution, we will be merging or removing, that will be done. So here we have to see how many matrices will come. Now in the second round, what happens? Here we identify the internal variables. Here elimination. Here finding the internal motives which are driving this outside, right? This we will be doing it. This is a communality. Communality is nothing but the taking all the points at a time. Whatever the variables you have collected here, 6 variables, all 6 will be again analyzed. With what? Analyzed through the rotation method. Here it is a common variance. How all together contributing the common variance, here it is coming. What are 3 variables they have arrived from this? 3 things arrived are first round. In the first round of the data, outgoing, these 3, if you see extraversion, outgoing and sociability high. 1 means extraversion. Here 2 means conscientious, hardworking, and these are coming nearer. And then third, here is it. Third one is agreeableness is there. Just for understanding, I put them here, how the factor analysis work. Here agreeableness, for the agreeableness, these 2 are coming close. What are they? Sorry, agreeable, hardworking, and actually I think I got it reverse way. These 2 are high. This is agreeableness. Agreeableness people will be helpful and the warm-hearted. We have to replace. Sorry for that. Sorry, little confusion. Then commonality, putting all 6 variables to the 3 factors. All these 6 variables these 6 outward, this is surface traits, are compared with these 3 source traits, internal, latent, right? These 2, and finding out all 3, what extent these are contributed. This is how the communality is done. After communality, we go for the just outgoing become extraversion, hardworking due to conscientiousness, and then people become the equilibrium. This is how it is. Now, with theoretical explanation, for latent whatever is there, for example, extrovert is there, there will be certain observable behaviors like that. Now, by observing these behaviors, we are arriving at a latent one. This is called as extraversion, right? This is how the analysis goes on. Factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor. For each factor here, if your extraversion is there, for example, this is extraversion, say. For that, what are the 2 things you have given? Outgoing and social. Here comes extraversion, outgoing, social, and then meeting people frequently. These 3 will be there here. From this, we are arriving at this one. This is factor 1, right? So other things, whatever there, we are eliminating them in the duplicates. We are eliminating in the round 1. Here, round 1. Duplicates, we are arriving in the round 1. And round 2, we are identifying these aspects. This is how it is done. The factor analysis combines variables highly correlated with each other. Whatever is having highly correlated means here we are saying about 0.85, 0.8, 0.9, like that. That strength is there. That we consider them as considerable. So why this variability is there? This variability is, thank you. This variability is coming due to unknown factor, unmeasured factor that is there in the latent one that we are arriving at through these factors. And then how we are here, you see, this factor 1 is contributing to, this is latent, right? Unmeasurable variable, internal or the source trait is contributing to variable A, B, C. Here, these are nothing but A, B, C. These 2 are the source traits here. And the latent one is, this one is nothing but the extraversion. And then these traits again combined, 1 and 2, we give another name. And these 3 combined and give another name, like that. We can combine again this and give it. This is a final factor analysis. This is how the 16 personality factors are brought in. So please remember that this is the first order, second order, third order. Like there will be orders of arriving at this factor that we will see. All 16 are considered to be primary order, first order products. Second order, he had given 5. So now latent, we know that application is principal factor analysis, component analysis we made here. Here there are method, principal axis method, maximum likelihood method, anything we can use it. So this is how we, there will be different judgments taken regarding the statistical application and the mergers or the summary or the classification, naming them, everything, different calls are there. These will be debated with others and finally evolve. So next one is the rotation. It is done through the computers. This factor loading will be done. Weightage will be given. And which variable are mostly coming closer to these traits? What are these observed variables contributing more in terms of strength to that particular dimension or the type or the factor or the introversion, extraversion, conscientiousness, openness, such factors, how much close they are coming. This given very clearly in this. Further, there are 2 types of rotations are done through the graphical presentation. An orthogonal 90 degrees, if you want to stop at first order, this method is done. Unique oblique rotation, further you do it and reduce to the further, then it will be unique oblique will be used. For example, if you are doing the second order from 16 to 5, you want to use. Which method will you use? Automatically, we use the oblique method. So we are going further also, no? So suppose you are stopping at one method, then you are not going further to find out whether any further merger can be possible, and that exercise you want to do, then you go for the oblique. So then after that, for the interpretation part, rotated whatever components are there. This rotated component, this is not related, this is rotated. Rotated component matrix is used here. Promax, Varimax, these are there. This Varimax is presented like this. Varimax is represented like this. Here also from this it is clearly coming that this is the extraversion, this is the conscientiousness, this is the equilibrium. These two will be part of that. So factor loading, I use how comparison is that. Communality, all the three factors relate variance with respect to all the six variables are correct. Everything, all these are compared. Multivariable, multivariable variables are. That's why is here if you see his contribution, Mava is there. And his contribution. So his approach is excellently used. Then here eigenvalue, we here one factor, this conscientiousness, how it is influencing the other six. This is internal, right? This is source state. How it is influencing this, we will see here. This is eigenvalue. But then factor loading is weightage is given, and then one factor to the one variable, one observable variable, internal variable. These two are compared. Just further, this is the approach. Then now he has identified 35 primary source factors from 1800 to he came down to 171 and then came to 35 primary factors. I identified 23 are normal, 12 are abnormal. Then he left the 12 are abnormal because they are related to the psychological distress. He has taken, it is not part of the personality. Then he has taken the 23. And then did the factor analysis and arrived that there are 16 major, common to many people, 16 factors are observed by him. And then 7 additional factors in that, they are about the life, related to the life. So he ignored that one. Life circumstances, what is the income and other things, like the family structure, combined family, joint family. That's why he had taken only 16 factors into account. He eliminated 7 factors. Then after that, arriving at the 16 factor, he did the second round, second order of the analysis, second factor analysis, and arrive at the 5. He used the Promax. Oblique, oblique. When you want to do second time, third time, you do oblique rotation. Otherwise, you do orthogonal or 90 degrees rotation. 5 factors he found that he called them as the global 5. They are similar to the big 5. Both have come more or less similar. But from these 16 factors, big 5, McRae and Costa arrived at the big 5. So he thought that when I gave 15 factors, 16 factors, they developed the 5 factors. So he also developed 5 factors as a competition to that. So it is developed different scale. But now after arriving that, he developed scales for adolescents and the children. Now classification, I already told that common factors, some common traits will be there. They are society and culture gives. This we will discuss later. Now we will go classification of traits, underlying variables, and there are 2 types. Source means externally observable. Surface means externally observable. Source means internally. So we already discussed a lot about that, how we arrived at the source. So now the surface tides we are observable, but they are unstable. Right. Participants. Divya mom, Nagamani mom, let us mute this already. So now we will go for source traits we know, surface traits we know already, we discussed a lot. Now, how the exhibition of the behavior is through the traits happens. So he classified these traits into three groups. One is ability, temperaments, and the dynamic. Dynamics are the motives which gives from that for the action. This action is effective or not depends on your ability. What is the primary ability? It is that crystal creativity and the knowledge-based intelligence are important elements of these abilities in order to give effectiveness of our actions. But our actions are two types. Again, he says that these actions depends on the emotional sensitivities. Emotional parts here given, these are innate, mood, anger, fear, other things you will determine. And constitutional traits, he told, they are nothing but the temperamental part of neurosensitivity. How speed you do the work, how quickly you do it, how neatly you do it, this is part of the temperament. Then motives, motivation, there are three types of motivations are there. One is the basic need, biological. These are all source trait, internal only. They're all needs, constitution and biology, genetics determines. And they give environment effect on the source trait, internal trait. That is nothing but yourself. This self, how this self sentiment is attached to the social objects is given by the sentiments. You are attached to certain aspect of family, home, spouse, workplace, etc. Religion. These are the traits comes from that. Then attitudes are nothing but these are the surface traits. All other, these are source traits. These traits are acquired and this is innate. Ergs are nothing but needs. Erg means it a unit for measurement of energy. This is the energy. Ergs are basic needs gives the energy to the sentiment. That sentiments give you attachment. For that, you will be moving. For that, in order whether you to do it or not, you will get the attitude. Attitude means evaluation, positive, negative evaluation, ready to do it or not. Negative means do not act. Positive means you will act. So I like bike. I want to attend the class, psychology class today. These are all your like and dislike will be coming, interest will be coming here. So he tell five attitude, there influence of Freud is that physiological means internal and ego and superego are there. They are not similar. And if they are not in sync, then it leads to the conflict. This is what these five attitudes are. X are nothing but the internal the needs, the basic needs, anger, appeal, included emotions here, hunger, protection, security, sex, 11. Then source traits, 16 year arrived at personality factors. They are source traits derived from the first order. They include primary scales of Warmuth. It is bipolar. That means if it is high, it will be warm-hearted. If it is low, reserved. Like that for everything you had given. If high, what is the name you had given for that particular behavior or the trait? Here, the low range you had given. That is a continuum, bipolar, spectrum of opposites, where one person stand. Every person will be having this, right? A to O are from all the three data collected for the research purpose. And DJKP are not given here for feature purpose. Also for the psychoanalysis or projective test, I think you can do it, right? And he left for that space and Q3 only from the the questionnaires he collected. There others A to O are collected through all three types of. Now 16 PF low means what is the name, high means what is the name he had given. Warmuth, low reserved, high is outgoing. Reasoning, it is the he had given one cognitive element. This is the reasoning, less intelligent, more intelligent, emotional stability factor, affected by feelings, emotionally stable. Then dominance, low is there, then it is humble. If it is more is there, dominance is more assertive. Low liveliness, you are sober. High liveliness, you are happy go. Rule consciousness means low means expedient and high means conscientiousness. So if you see 16 PF elements are you can see here. This. So seeing this from this only they have a motion. Everything they are coming here. First order, please remember first order. First order, second order put together, you will find ocean. Okay, now it is very easy. In our book is also there. If you read, it will take time. Well, please read it at home. So second order, here we had given that the second order here we identified what are they. He had given extraversion, introversion in the given in the second order. Generally, why this is all asked in the T set or the UGC net first order, second order, oblique rotation, and the orthogonal rotation. These questions are frequently asked. Then give low anxiety, high anxiety called as neuroticism. Same big ocean, emotional stability, tough-minded openness, and independent accommodation, agreeableness, control, self-control, conscientiousness. These are already there in 16 PF. They have arrived Costa, and we are also going to discuss this one, right? At the last unit of this one. Then it used the formula to predict the behavior. Here you had given their unified theory. We are having behavior is a function of P and E. Here he says that behavior is responses are function of S and T are the trait or personal trait. T is the trait, S is the situation. Situation strength and the trait score will be there. In a situation, how your behavior will be exhibited in the current moment. Weightage is given to the ability. That calculation will give you what is your expected behavior now. But all these are not much accepted by the other psychologists. But this part is highly appreciated. Worldwide, it is now implemented for employment purpose, premarital counseling, all places, educational field, personality defects, all these highly used scale. Then development of personality, he says that 6 primary stages are there: infancy, childhood, adolescence, maturity, middle age, and old age. He says that adolescence is very, very important for the development, just like Alport also said the same thing. So here, similar traits refer to the same dimensions across the life. Some traits they vary from person to person. Intensity of the same dimension also vary in the person. Same person, the age. And anxiety is more in adolescence, less in adulthood. Development of personality influences heredity and environment. We have already said that. But he says that these two are negatively correlated. Society exerts pressure on the genetically different individual come from the same social. Because social norms control your behavior. That's why he says that negative correlation is there. He called that as law of coercion. So cattle 6 stages, very easy to understand. This is not, I think it's not. The pathology says that because of the opposite dynamic forces, ego, superego, physiological, leads to the conflicts. What he says that the conflict, conscious and integrated attitude, ego versus superego, there will be conflict. Unconscious and unintegrated attitude, the ease and the physiological within, that also manifest in the unreal mental process. That's why they call that fantasy. It says no, unrealistic and psychosis could be there. This is how conflict will be. Then there are source traits. There are source traits. Earth means energy. Sentiments means there are the earths are needs. Sentiments are attachments. So there will be conflict here also if scores are opposite, not in the same direction. Degree of conflict, always you have to see as a ratio. The sum total of ratios will give us the conflict. He says that for the cause of neurosis, he had given certain factors. Here, see some factors are there. Depending on these factors, let me. Here, depending on these factors, it is coming. Right? Depending on these factors, it is coming. We are given these factors. Pathological purpose. So use is career development, industrial organization, personality assessment of research purposes. These are all used. But his model is not widely accepted, research model, because highly statistical approach is there. Very difficult to replicate. That's why it is new. But this is highly used psychological personality measurements. So briefly, which is the structure of the personality discussion, determinants in terms of hierarchy or motives you have given, dynamics you have understand, development you have seen, psychopathology you have seen, psychotherapy, he advised, somebody advised, but he has not advised. Okay. This is about the, any doubts, please? 1 or 2 minutes. So I will review very fast. One is his approach, scientific approach, influenced by Spearman, and then he applied fact analysis and arrived at the, he told that genetic and environment will contribute. Using the fact analysis, he tried to find out from observable behavior, external, that source variable traits. He tried to find out the latent variable. In that process, he identified using fact analysis, he identified 16 factors. These are the 16 factors identified. For this, he prepared a scale, 16 PF scale is adopted, and then it is bipolar. Depending on the score, it will be judging your personality. If high score, these will come. Low score, they will come. Neutral, that means you are balanced, these will be coming. This is about the 16 PF highly useful scale. Okay, we'll go for the next one. We'll close this one. Stop the share. We'll go for IC.
Sir, one thing.
Sorry.
No, you have given, and we are thankful, very exhaustive information. And the book is giving only some 3 pages.
Now you write what is there in the book. For fact,
Yeah, that's what, because in the examination, which one they expect?
What is there in the book, what I explained is in order to get you hold of concept. I explained that fact analysis is not discussed in the book at all.
At all, yes.
So this I explained because reading it, it will not help you. Once you know how they are arrived and how is biological background, then you can easily understand that. That's why.
Right.
Okay, good question. Share. Okay, let me share this.
Sir, one small doubt, sir.
Please tell me.
Sir, for that 16 factor traits are there, sir. We can measure that through questionnaire or through projective test also, sir, including on that.
Projective tests are different. Unconscious part will the internal conflicts, unconscious forces, childhood traumas that we can arrive at through the psychometric. These conscious parts will come because it is a self-report. So you here you will be intentionally, consciously giving the responses. So in order to judge a personality, we have to do both the tests, projective test as well as the self-report test. Self-report,
So
please tell me.
in these 16 factors, so projective test also there for that factor.
That is separate. This is not part of 16 factors. We have to separately do it. Develop a TAT or sentence completion or
Rorschach blot test.
picture completion test, like the Rorschach blot test. Those you have, depending on the problem, childhood problem. Need-based problems are there, we will go for the TAT, or psychologically, psychosis or the impulsive mania and other things are there, we will go for the Rorschach blot test, and the family issues with the parents or the office issues are there, sentence completion test. So many word association, they are there depending on the problem. After taking the case, you primarily arrive at provisional diagnosis that this man is having problem in the childhood and the marriage or the post-marriage in the office. Depending on that and his personality, we go for this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now we go for the, I think, I will share this one. Let me, this very small one. Is it visible already?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's visible.
It is very small one. I think he has developed only 3 traits. He called them the dimensions. So he is also highly scientific approach is there. The contribution is he combined nervous system, central nervous system, hormone system, and then the classical approach of humors. 4 humors are called types in the Greek and Greco medicine of Hippocrates, and types. These are the types and traits given by the Kettle and and Alport combined, and nervous system and hormone system, neurohormone. The entire thing he try to combine and give a holistic approach in order to define the personality and measure the personality. So he had so many books he had written, and he had given the hierarchy of the traits, number 1. Number 2, he had given the causes for the personality. No other person mostly discussed about the causes for the personality or the personality traits. So he studied, then he studied after working in a hospital, psychiatric hospital, observing the patients. He developed a questionnaire and adopted from this questionnaire, whatever data he got, he applied the factor analysis. Only first order only applied. Then he arrived at the 3 traits. One is extraversion, introversion. One mostly we call it extraversion, and then psychoticism, and then neuroticism. Put together, we call it PEN, pen approach. Right? That one is called as the 16PF. In that, global 5 is the 16PF is first order, global 5 is the second order. Please don't get confused with the big 5 of the Kettle, big 5 of theory and the Kettle's global 5. Now, after doing that, he tried to give the structure of this personality and then dynamics of the personality, taking the temperaments, types, traits, and nervous system, motivations, emotions, cognitive abilities, and also try to explain the abnormal behavior. Now, he studied not only the normal persons, but also abnormal persons. He studied all the people combinedly, and then other is called as group study is there, nomothetic approach is there. Then he given hierarchy of the traits, and he tried to find out the causal elements, that is genetic, neural, hormonal. Please remember his theory says that, please remember his theory's name, biological trait theory. So his focus is more on the biology. So biological means what causes he will give automatically. We have to write that these are the causes, right? So there will be influence of the environment, genotype. So his approach is both the trait and type approach, nomogenetic approach, factor analysis approach, and criterion analysis approach using the algebra procedures. That is not good. So nomothetic is used by Cattell and Ising, and Allport, Rogers, Masker is idiographic, means individual study. Biographies they study. Then Hippocratic temperaments, we all know there are 4 temperaments. We had given 5, but there are 3 only. 4 temperaments are there. Choleric means irritable, highly angry people, or fire. Choleric means fiery people, mostly related to the liver. And melancholic means depressive people, gloomy people. The humor means fluid in the body, black. They are all imaginary, not scientifically proven. There is nothing like black bile in the body. Then sanguine means optimistic, happy people, and the fluid in the body is the blood. And the phlegmatic means phlegm is there, and the calmness will be there. More phlegm is there, there will be more introversion could be there. So that's why they compared with that the big 5. Yeah. Now, generally, we know in the Alport approach, he collected all the synonymous with the nice people, how their characters are mean people, happy people, sad people. This is the approach of Alport. So here he compare what is his approach will see. Here says that the personality traits, whatever are there, they are all about the behavior. Here introversion is a behavior. There will be level or degree. Introverts are type of the people. Please try to remember this. Type of the people, different types of the people. This is not a continuum. This is a continuum. Introversion, extraversion is a continuum. When bipolarity can be happen in between there. What are the theory we will study here? Personal taxonomy, structure, type and traits, personality theory, causal relation, and biological basis, and biological and environment interaction and evaluation. Taxonomy says that classification. From the fact analysis, he came out with certain traits or behaviors. First, he observed the routines. Routines will become, related routines will become habits. Habits will become traits. Traits will become types. This is the hierarchy from below upward. What is the causal factor? Biologically, physiologically, psychologically, environment. All these three together will cause our behavior or personality. Factor analysis, he collected different data, self-reports, observed. Self-reports come under questionnaires, Q data of all kettle, observation ratings, or comes under the T data, biographical. Biographical means it is here he had taken again nomothetic, sorry, idiographic, right? He had biological information he is getting, experience based, and is a physical assessment, this objective. Objective study is called as which data? T data. And then objective physiological tests are T data. And the data are used for the analysis. How we did it? Same matrix correlation. These are different arrived at the observable behaviors. The diagonal unity is there. From that, he come to the conclusion that there is a routine behavior. Routine behaviors will be the traits. Traits will habits. Habits will become the traits. Let me navigate this. Here, routine responses gives habits. Group of habits give the traits. Collection of the traits give the type or extraversion dimension. Here is the gregarious means meeting the people frequently. Here you had given that afternoon you are meeting the friends. Weekly, weekend. Sometimes frequently meeting with many people. From friend you go to many people. From many people to you do meeting many people or more or less every day, for example. Then that is considered to be here coming from routine, gregarious, friendliness, and then coming to the extraversion. He had come to the three factors, they are called big three. Please, big five is different, big three is different. Polarity, in the, depending on the range, we will be arriving there. Kette's primary factors led to the 5 secondary factors, but here I think stopped with the first primary order. So same explanation, specific response, habit to trait, trait to type. Here different responses, cleanliness, for example, cleanliness, sociability, there meeting the people, giving, sharing, helping, all these points will be coming here. That become a habit here because different circumstances you will be doing it. Then if it is being with different people, different times, different circumstances, three things are there, frequently recurring, it will become sociability. This is naming up. This sociability, like similarly, other 5 these traits are arrived, and these 5 combining together becomes the extraversion. So this is how the formation, this is the hierarchy active. For introvert is giving, initially they won't meet the eye, just to smile, face will become bluish, something like that. Then hesitant to talk. From these different places, introvert are getting shyness, rigidity, persistency, and irritability. The dimension will be extrovert. So Penn model, if the bipolar, one extreme, it is emotionally stable, emotional unstable. The emotional unstable are called neurotics. Emotionally stable persons are called as stable persons. Right? Stability. This is unstable emotionally. It is called neuroticism. Here, if you see psychoticism, opposite word is ego control. Extraversion, opposite is intro, because it is bipolar. In this range, we have to see. In the questionnaire is there, 24 questions are there. 12 will be here, 12 will be here. Right? 24 questions. Middle point is the 12 is the midpoint. When anybody scores 12% is balanced person. If very low is there, sorry, high is there extraversion, low is introvert. Map is slightly definitely different. So straight structure is like this. But he had arrived for extraversion, social, lively, active, assertive, sensation seeking, carefree, dominant, surgeon, and venturism. These are all put together in named as extraversion. Similarly for neuroticism and psychoticism. They are there in the book. Same thing I renamed. Single word used for extraversion naming. So here the range is there, high is there, low is there, in between is the balance, low is there. For extraversion, low is there, they will be called as introversion, less social, quiet, introspective, directed towards inner reality. High, it is coming as social, impulsive, excited, active, lively. This is how all three are. High, what are the characters? Low, what are the characters? What is the name to be given? This is extrovert, these are introvert types. So this is the range. In between is neutral. How it becomes. Then Ising theory of personality says that it is determined by interaction of biological and environmental forces. Number one, hereditary, how it becomes innate. He says that it is mostly innate, but also changeable. How it becomes innate? Because it is coming from biologically, nervous system is inherited. This is making you to learn, and environment affecting on it and modifying the expression. So genetic influence, nervous system, and the environment put together, they are giving our behavior. He says that environment gives, it is modifiable. The optimistic point is traits are modifiable. So apart from this, what is there biologically apart from nervous system? Psychological effects are there. That is cognitive, cognitive behavior, affective means emotions and temperament, somatic means physiology, bodily. These interplay of this also molds your behavior. Not only this, but also this. Genotype influence will be there. Environmental influence is there. Hierarchy we have seen already. Traits are genetically, but they can be changed, but they are not unchanging. Relatively stable. They are unchanged, but they are not unchanged. Now types and trait had combined. If you see the high neurotic, low neurotic, extraversion, introversion, here the types of our Hippocrates have mentioned. Choleric means bad tempered. Here we high neuroticism and high extraversion. Sanguinary, high extraversion. There are extraversion and low neuroticism. High extraversion. Like that, he combined and to the graphical presentation. There are 24 questions are there for this in scales he developed. 12 is the neutral. About 20, if it is reaching towards extraversion, degree of extraversion will be there. And low score gives the 0 means completely introversion. Like that, he had developed scales for that and combined melancholy, same thing I have written here. So he developed 3 scales. First, while Madley Hospital he worked, he developed a personality inventory and then that is called MPI. Then Ising personality inventory developed later, 57 questions. Then he developed EPQ, Ising personality questionnaire to judge the personality of 3 dimensions he had given. But he had given another scale, lie scale also. There are 9 questions. If you score more than 6, that means you are lying, not giving proper answers. So it will be, further calculation will not be done. How the scores will be done. Here that person got extraversion, introversion 21 means he is towards the extraversion. Neuroticism 24 and scale stability. This is neuroticism, this is stability. 24 means he is having stability. 21 means he is here. That means he is having extraversion, not introversion. Like that, it will be calculated. So choleric temperament, fire is there, The task-oriented, impulsive, angry people, ready to act. So task-oriented, but here their leadership will be good. Sometimes it is more aggressive nature is there, or extraversion, high extraversion is there, they can become violent also. This is how he explained with through graphics. I think this is not there in the book. Just then causal model, we will see here what contributes. He had given two theories. What causes, he says, our psychological aspects, hormones, enzymes also contribute, and nervous system also contributes to our, and biological system also contributes. We already discussed it, but the explanation he had given two models for that. First model is he tried to explain that introversion, extraversion is due to autonomous nervous system. If high excitement of autonomous nervous system is there, they will become extroverts. Low excitement or inhibition of ANS is there, then they will become introvert. This is the first model of explanation he given. Later he gave that, second model he gave that there are two systems. One is arousal system, then second one is visceral brain activity system. Arousal system, ascending reticular activating system. I explained that in the midbrain. It takes all the information from the sensory system and the coordinates, and then immediately sends the message to the main brain or forebrain. Something is going to happen, what is coming in. So this on and off will be there. It is also influence of bioclock. Also, it influences our thinking process, mostly conscious and unconscious, active, inactive stages it will be pushing in. So this system, he says that extrovert, introvert is depending on that. So he says that this relationship is not a constant one, but it will be changing. Curvilinear means up and downs will be there, but not a constant influence in there. Then he gives visceral body means forebrain. It has a limbic system, nothing but limbic. It has four things. Thalamus is a relay center. Hypothalamus is the behavior it gives. Also the under control of it with the help of the pituitary control our ANS. Then amygdala is for the emotions. Hippocampus is the cognitive elements. All together, there will be activating. So it is this neurotism and stability determined by that. So is that same explanation I put it in this. So ultimately say that consistency of the same factors of personality observed across the cultures. Number one. Individual try to retain their position on three factors across the time. Across the time, irrespective of the age, they are showing same thing. Same consistency of factors will be in the culture and the age is there. Heritable component play a role in individual differences. So this is biological approach. So automatically this is expected. Same whatever we have discussed here, low and high. This map, low neuroticism, whatever is there, verbally I wrote here. These points I wrote verbally, depending on the coordinates. Then biological environmental interaction. Biological stimulation may or may not be working depending on the, please remember, even they focus more, the influence of environment into the consideration. Socialization teaching will affect it. So he says that not, even though he says that biology influences more, he says the interaction of these two will be given. For that purpose, he did a twin study saying that genetically inherited monozygotic people, they are more or less same in terms of their extraversion, not the bizygotic. This is a twin studies he has studied, and some people say that there are conflicting reports, or even they say 50% genetic influence is there. Some people say it is not conclusive. So adaptive studies, if two children are adopted children, there will be zero correlation in terms of this pen. And the situation strongest determinants are there. This is how he explained the theory. Criticism is that he used very bad name for concocting the data. He is, even though he is a reputation of giving a more integrated, holistic approach, personality theory, but he fabricated data and people had a bad remarks, pass a bad remark because of fraud committed by him. So having combination of so many things, very difficult, even the theoretically looks good, but very difficult to explain the this Greco-Roman medical approach of for humors. These are all some imaginative content in there. So we will review 1 minute is there. I try to review it here. Is it called Penn model? Factor analysis used. He had given the causative factors also, like biological factors, environmental factors, even the biological factor, the coordination among all the ABCD are also contributing. He had given hierarchy, routine behaviors become habits, combination cluster of related habits become traits, related traits become types. Here, meeting the people, aggregation, friendliness, and extraversion you had given. This is the hierarchy. And then he combined Penn model, he had developed three factors. He derived from the factor analysis: psychosis, extraversion, introversion. The opposite of psychosis is the ego control, extraversion, introversion, neuroticism is stable mind. So for this, it is bipolar continuum. This continuum low scale will give the neuroticism, high scale will give the stability, low score will give psychoticism, high score will give the ego balance, ego control, high score gives extraversion in this scale, low score in this continuum give the introversion. This is what simple only. And he had given definition for the explanation, this developed scales, and he had given explanation for the causal model. Initially, he had given ANS for introversion, extraversion. For the introvert and extrovert, he had given activating reticular, ascending reticular activating system from the midbrain. This is the forebrain. Depending on this, neuroticism and stability are explained through visceral brain or limbic system. This is what he explained. So biology certainly influences. We cannot take biological stimulation alone. Sometimes it will work modified or made high or made low through the environmental circumstances like socialization and teaching. This is what he had given. Very brief one, very small one. Because first one is taken lengthy because I try to explain you the fact analysis, the trends. You need not write in the examination about what I briefly gave you. This is only for understanding because all these three models, last three theories are dependent on the factor analysis. That's why I think. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts regarding the Ising theory? This is called Penn model. You have discussed 16 PF and big five, not big five, the global five of Kettle, and Ising model of biological trait model. Do this we have discussed. In this, he had given big three. Please remember big three. We have write about the big three model of personality. You have to write Ising model. Big five means ocean model.
Yeah, na? So factor analysis is not there in the textbook, right, sir?
No, no, this is a research methodology. You have to read your research methodology book, fourth one.
Okay.
Reddy sir is teaching, no? There you get all this.
Okay.
Because I think it is advanced and later stages only it comes. That's why I covered.
Mm-hmm.
Brief.
Because in the cattle factor analytic theory, we don't see the factor analysis as such as a unit.
Yeah, yeah. It will not be there, but they have used it in order to make you understand.
In this research psychology.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Without that, very difficult to teach also.
Yeah. I got it.
Any further doubts, please? Tomorrow we'll see last unit, Big Five, and review all units in the psychology in the last 15-20 minutes.
So would you be able to share this PPT with us or?
Okay, I will send to the department. You can ask more.
Okay.
Any more doubts? Okay, time is over. Next sir will be coming. Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.